Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I want to talk about Doom 2 and the fact that it is now 30 years old. It was released on the 10th of October 1994, so that now makes that 30 years old, and it's a fantastic game. I'm a huge fan of the original. I have played it many times. I've completed it on lots of different systems. Only recently I just recompleted it, and Doom 2, it's a game that I don't talk about as much or show as much appreciation for, and I'm not entirely sure why. If you're a fan of Doom and you wanted some more Doom, then Doom 2 was fantastic. There were some expansion packs for the original Doom, but Doom 2, it brought a lot more in without changing too much of it. So you had larger levels, you had new enemies, a new super shotgun, and a new power-up. But it was essentially Doom, just with those added in. And that kind of does it a little bit of an injustice, because the level design in Doom 2 is far more complex. The levels are a lot larger. The thought that had gone into the level design for Doom 2 was superb. It just... I found it a lot more difficult game to play than the original, but in the same vein, it is a fantastic game. So if you've been through Doom and you kind of breezed through it and you thought, well, that was a lovely game, then pick up Doom 2, because it really did intensify the whole feeling of Doom. I mean, the larger levels and the more complex levels alone just make it a lot harder game to play. So Doom 2 was released in 1994 originally. That's on the PC. It was released later on different platforms. So it was released on the Mac, it was released on the PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn, and very oddly enough it was released on the Game Boy Advance, and it really pushes the Game Boy Advance hardware. It's a game that it shouldn't run on the GBA, but it does, and it's great to see it on there. More recently, it's released on other platforms like the Xbox and the PS4 and the Switch, and I'm sure it's been bundled in with other games for other platforms. And even more recently, it's been re-released at QuakeCon. So in 2024, we had the Doom and Doom 2 Definitive Edition. I've recently completed the original Doom, and at some point I'm going to pick up the Doom 2 Definitive Edition and give that another go, because it's been a long time since I have played Doom 2 properly. So yeah, just a birthday shout to Doom 2, 30 years old, a game that it lives in the shadow of the original Doom, because the original Doom was it made such an impact. I'm not going to say it was the first-person shooter, but it really defined that genre and brought that style of game and to the mainstream, with more people knowing about it. And that's the whole thing behind Doom. Everybody talks about Doom, and Doom 2 kind of gets a little bit pushed aside. So happy birthday, Doom 2, 30 years old on October the 10th this year. A fantastic sort of sequel to Doom, with larger levels and new enemies and a few extra pieces. And if you're a fan of Doom and you want something a bit more to get your teeth into, then I highly suggest grabbing a copy of Doom 2. Unlike the original version, Doom was available sort of shareware. It's the way they got the game sort of known, whereas Doom 2 was actually bought physically in a store. So go and grab a copy of Doom 2 on whatever system you can find on, either officially, or there's lots of unofficial sort of ports for systems that it was never released on. But you can run Doom and Doom 2 on pretty much any system you've got. So yeah, Doom 2, 30 years old. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.